The webcam that watched her sleep forever. The beginning was a pleasant experience. Emily Breyer was not the type of person who placed much stock in the existence of ghosts. She was a sensible person. There are 26, a self-employed illustrator who made a living off of client commissions and coffee refills, and whose closest circle of friends and acquaintances existed over the internet nearly entirely. A year earlier, she had relocated to Seattle, a new city, a new beginning, and a new rent-controlled studio that always smelled a little bit like mildew and lavender. It was, however, hers. She lived by herself. By alone she labored. On her alone she slept. The time until Liam. It was in a subreddit dedicated to horror art that they first became acquainted. She was a huge fan of his sarcasm. He was a huge fan of her creepy artwork in grayscale. In 3 months, they had become intertwined electronically. They FaceTimed daily, even though he lived in Boston. During the video conference, I fell asleep. We discussed upcoming trips, exchanged Spotify playlists, and made hushed commitments. The following evening, he made a straightforward statement. If only I could be there to see you sleep. So just make sure the webcam is turned on. Do you know? Just like I'm standing right next to you. At first, Emily was hesitant because she thought that sleeping in front of the camera would be intrusive. It was Liam, however. He had a pleasant personality, helpful and encouraging. In the past, he even sent her a brand new webcam, which was a high-end model that was sleek and small, and it included night vision, autofocus, and motion detection that worked around the clock. As it arrived, she broke into a smile. When she smiled into its lens for the very first time, she was completely unaware of what she was doing. At first, the nights appeared to be typical in every way. Initially, it had a sense of coziness, a close one. After getting into bed each night, she would plug the camera into the wall outlet and then wave at the small green LED light. Occasionally, Liam would send her a text message that said, "Good night, Em," and then he would wait for her to fall asleep. Her room was not very large. There is a mirror above her dresser, a reading lamp, a bookshelf, and a twin bed in her room. There is nothing remarkable. You won't be scared. Nevertheless, Liam became aware of something on the third night. It wasn't a major issue at all. When he woke up the following morning, he exclaimed, "Hey, I believe you sat up at another point. Approximately 3 o'clock in the morning? It seemed as though you were more or less staring into the camera. Have you gotten up yet?" Emily wore a frown. "It is not. I do not believe that to be the case. At this point, I can't even recall waking up." They treated it as nothing. It's possible that she moved around while she was sleeping. Possibly Liam was imagining it. Then, however, it occurred once more. And once more. According to the motion records, Emily would sit up every night at precisely 3:17 a.m. when she would always be awake. Take a look at the webcam. Also, make sure you look squarely at the camera. Her eyes did not budge at all. Her mouth did not move at all. Simply a lack of motion that did not appear to be human. She would then lie back down as if nothing had happened, which would happen after approximately 1 minute had passed. The smile that didn't belong to this woman. Concern began to set in for Liam on the 5th night. It was a stream that he recorded on video, repeated it again and over again. It was paused. We zoomed in, and at that moment, he caught a glimpse of it, with a smile. Emily's smile was tight and artificial, and it spread slowly across her face as she peered into the camera. It was a somewhat noticeable smile, but it was unmistakable. Not a slumbering, dreamy smile at all. In the middle of a dream, not even the blank type folks give me. This was a smile that was chosen on purpose. Way too wide. It is excessively symmetrical, akin to someone who is feigning a smile, but fails miserably. The expression on Emily's face as he presented it to her was one of true horror. "That's not me," she mumbled in a low voice. "I can't smile like that while I am sleeping." While she was attempting to shake it off, she laughed nervously. Unplugging the camera that evening, however, caused her hand to shake uncontrollably. In other words, it activated itself. Liam was awoken by a motion alert the following morning. In the early hours of the morning, Emily's webcam was activated. The fact that she had disconnected it left him in a state of extreme shock. However, she was present, in the position of sitting up in bed. It is staring. At this moment, however, something was different. A form had taken shape in the mirror that was located behind her. Give up. Indistinct. One example would be someone standing in the corner, which is a place where no one should be. His attempts to phone her were unsuccessful. He transmitted screenshots. There was no response. It was approximately midday when he finally made contact with her, and she sounded strange. Perhaps it's stress, she stated directly. It's possible that it's just a dream. The tone of her voice was not typical of her. In addition, Liam was certain that he heard a second voice in the background, which was low, sluggish, and humming. The following evening, Emily informed him that she would no longer be using the webcam. He agreed. That ought to have been the conclusion. The camera, on the other hand, did not care what they desired. The silence that ensued is referred to as, this was the 10th night when Liam did not get any texts. There are no emojis. No need to say goodnight. Nevertheless, at 3:17 in the morning, his screen flashed. Automatically, the webcam stream opened up on its own. Not a prompt. There was no notification. The feed itself is dark and blurry. At first, it appeared to be devoid of anything. After that, the covers on the bed moved, slowly in fact, comparable to someone crawling on top of them. Nevertheless, there was no one present. After that, the screen began to rapidly glitch, displaying lines of static and a burst of pixel distortion until the image finally became frozen. And there was Emily with her eyes fixed squarely on the camera. She did not, however, blink, not moved at all. The feed was live, and Liam realized with increasing horror that she hadn't moved for more than a minute. She hadn't moved at all. However, she not moved at all. The woman was not breathing, and then all of a sudden, she cocked her head to the side. Then he smiled. The apartment that is currently unoccupied. Police were contacted by Liam. The flat that Emily was staying in was found to be locked from the inside when the authorities arrived. There was no indication of a struggle. There were no indications of a forced entrance. It was open on her laptop. Her mobile device is still charging. Turn on the webcam. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, subscribe for more real horror tales, and let us know in the comments.